Over the last year and a half, my agency has sent over 2 million cold emails, booked thousands of meetings, and generated millions in revenue for our clients. And after that kind of volume, I've learned something important. Most of the advice people follow when getting started with cold email is either outdated or flat out wrong. The sending limits have changed, the spam filters are smarter, and strategies that work 12 months ago can get your entire infrastructure destroyed today. So if I were starting cold email from scratch in 2026, knowing everything I know now, here's exactly what I will do. Step by step. Let's get into it. The first thing I do is set up my sending infrastructure, and I wouldn't touch anything else until this is done. Most people want to jump straight into writing emails and building lists, but if your infrastructure isn't right, none of that matters. You could have the best copy in the world, but if your emails are landing in spam, nobody is ever going to see them. So infrastructure comes first. Always. The number one rule is to never send cold emails from your primary domain. This is something I still see people doing, and it can be devastating for your business. If recipients start marking your emails as spam, that reputation carries over every single email you send from that domain, including emails to your existing clients, vendors, providers, and so on. I've had clients come to us after their entire email communication is compromised because they used their main domain for outreach. Instead, you want to buy secondary domains that are similar to your main one. For example, if your company is called Star and your website is star.com, you'd buy domains like getstar.com, trystar.com, starhq.com, and so on. You want the company name to still be recognizable, so it doesn't look suspicious to the person receiving the email. And then you set up a redirect on each secondary domain that points back to your main website. So if anyone looks you up, they land on your actual site. For setting up the email accounts on those domains, the easiest way is to just use Smart Senders inside Smartly. Why? Because it handles the DNS records, the DKIM setup, and a lot of the manual configuration that used to take hours. The setup I'd go with is 2 email accounts per secondary domain and no more than 25 emails per day per account. For example, if you want to send 500 emails a day, you'll need about 10 accounts across 5 secondary domains. And the good thing is that you can get pre-warmed inboxes, so you can skip the initial warm-up period and start your campaigns from day one. Once the accounts are created, you need to warm them up at least 15 days before sending a single campaign email. Warm-up is a process where your mailboxes exchange emails with thousands of other mailboxes in a warm-up pool. They open each other's emails, reply to them, mark them as important. This builds your sender reputation with providers like Google and Outlook. Smartly has unlimited warm-up built-in, so you don't need a separate tool for this. And here's something important. You should never turn warm-up off during the work week, even after you start sending campaigns. Warm-up runs alongside your campaigns Monday through Friday to keep your reputation healthy. Okay, while your mailboxes are warming up for those first 15 days, this is when you build your list. And this is where most people go wrong, because they treat list building like a quick task, when it should actually take the most of the time of your setup. There is a saying that I love from Just Brown. The list is the message, meaning if you send emails to the right people, even average copy will get responses. But if you send it to the wrong people, the best copy in the world won't save you. The approach I'd use from day one is ABM, account-based marketing. This means you start with companies first, not people. You define your total addressable market at a company level. How many companies out there could buy what you sell? Then, within those companies, you find the right people to contact. The reason this matters is that context change everything. A head of marketing at a 50-person startup has completely different problems, budgets, and priorities than a head of marketing at a 2,000-person company. So if you just filter for head of marketing and blast them all with the same email, your message won't land for most of them. When you start with the company, you can tailor your message based on the size, the industry, their stage, and that's what gets replies. For finding these companies and people, I start right inside Smart Lead using Smart Prospect. It gives you access to over 300 million verified business profiles directly inside the platform, so you don't have to jump between separate tools. You can filter by job title, industry, employee range, revenue, and the best thing is that these leads come pre-verified, so your bounce rates stay low from the day one. And if you want to go deeper on enrichment, SmartLead integrates natively with Clay. Clay lets you layer on additional context from over 50 data sources. Tech stack, funding rounds, job postings, LinkedIn activity, and these are some of the actions that you can do inside Clay with SmartLead. For example, you can add from Clay to SmartLead the leads without needing to download the CSV file and importing it on SmartLead. This enrichment step is where you separate yourself from everyone else doing cold email. At the company level, what technology they use, whether they've raised funding, if they are hiring for roles relevant to your offer. At the personal level, how long they've been in their role, what they post about on LinkedIn, their work story. By the way, if you want to start building campaigns while I walk through the rest of this, SmartLead has a 14-day free trial where you can set up your infrastructure, warm up your accounts, and launch your first campaign. I'll drop the link on the description. Now back to the video. Let's go ahead with the step 3, copywriting. Write emails that get replies. Once you have your list and your infrastructure is warmed up, it's time to write your emails. And the biggest lesson I've learned from sending about 2 million cold emails this last year is this: your offer matters more than your copy. You can spend hours perfecting your email, but if what you are offering doesn't solve a problem that your prospect has right now, they are not going to reply. So before you write a single word, you need to be clear on what makes your offer different from the competence. What specific pain your product solves for the person you're trying to contact, and what objections they are likely to have. When it comes to the actual email structure, I keep things simple. Email 1 should be the one doing heavy lifting. Keep it under 100 words. Make it clear and direct. Email 2 goes out about 3 days after and adds context that didn't fit in the first email. Think of it as a compliment, not a repeat. And then email 3 is on a brand new thread with a different subject line, and this one should offer something free and super useful. A recorded Loom walkthrough, a relevant resource, something that gives value without asking for anything. And that's it. 3 emails maximum. I will never send more than 3 emails in a sequence. Why? Because most of your positive replies come from email 1. And if they don't, that tells you that email 1 needs work. Sending 4 or even 5 emails are not going to solve your campaign. It increases the chance they mark you as a spam. You are better off contacting a new person than following up with someone has ignored you for 3 times. For the copy itself, I like to use a static structure with AI-assisted personalization. What this means is that you write the core framework of your email yourself, the value proposition, the call to action, the overall flow, and then you use AI to generate specific lines inside your structure. We've tested fully AI written emails against this hybrid approach, and the static structure with AI lines wins consistently. There are a few things I'd always include in every email. First, the opening line should be 100% personalized, talking about something specific about the person or their company, like a recent event they attended, a job posting that they have opened, or something they published on LinkedIn. Second, the value proposition should be oriented around a result, not a feature. People don't care about what your product does. They care about what it does for them. Third, always include a PS line. Almost everyone reads a PS line when they open an email. So use it for social proof or an extra personalized touch. For the call to action, you have 2 options, depending on your situation. A hard call to action asks directly for a meeting, like, would you be open for a 15-minute call? And a soft call to action offers value first. For example, if I could show you how to achieve this result, will it be useful? Use the hard call to action when the offer is so compelling that it speaks for itself, or when you are offering something completely free. Otherwise, test both and select the ones that give you more results. Step 4. Launch and send. With your infrastructure warm up, your list built, and your emails written, it's time to launch. If you build your list with Smart Prospect, your leads are already on Smart Lead, so you can push directly to your campaign. And if your leads come from Clay because they are enriched, it's super easy because you can see here that you can push directly the data from Clay to Smart Lead and assign the fields and a lot of stuff. You won't see here some things because this is a Clay table from a client, but if you are pushing your leads from Clay, it's super easy. You just click actions, you type here add lead to campaign, and you will see that here's a Smart Lead, and you just need to sell the campaign and map all the information. Either way, set up your sequences, assign your sending accounts, and schedule your campaigns. Let's talk now about sending schedule. You can go here, click on setup button, and then click schedule campaigns. The sending schedule I'd use is Monday to Friday, during of course business hours. For example, let's say that our ICP or the people that we are contacting, they are from Madrid. So I will select these hours to contact them. Why Monday to Friday? Because consistency matters a lot here. Email providers notice irregular activity when you are sending your emails, so it's better to send the same amount of emails Monday to Friday rather than send 200 emails on Wednesday, for example, and that's it. Another thing I recommend is once you are selecting your mailboxes, let's say that we're going to select some rich flow mailboxes, I will recommend establishing the daily limit of a mailbox at a maximum of 25 cold emails sent per day, and also 2 mailboxes per domain. Something that I recommend as well is first click this button in which you can send emails with plain text. I do not recommend sending emails without plain text because it hurts deliverability. I also recommend not to track email opens and not to track link clicks, and there are a lot of more options that you can select here. For example, you can select send first to Gmail or other providers or all. I also recommend start sending to Gmail and then to other providers because sending to Outlook is quite difficult nowadays. You just need to click here save. You will need to review some messages, and once everything is reviewed, you just click start, and it's the time to manage your first replies. I will manage all replies in this master inbox. You can categorize responses, flag positive replies, and reply everything inside the tool. And if you are not at your desk when a hot reply comes in, no worries, because Smartlead has a mobile app, so you can also reply all the leads if you download this app. After your launch, don't expect great results in your first campaign. Your first 2 to 3 campaigns are learning campaigns. You are gathering data on what works and what doesn't. The goal isn't to book 20 meetings on week 1. It's to figure out which angle, which audience segment, and which call to action are getting the best response. Before you make any single change at your copy, make sure you've reached at least 2,000 contacts. Anything less than that is too small to have a conclusion. When you do review results, here's what to look at. Your bounce rate should stay below 2%. Now, if you pull your leads from Smart Prospect, your bounce rate should be low, but still I recommend to re-verify them with the Smart Lead Insights verifier before starting each campaign. And of course, you can use here Smart Delivery and check if your emails are landing into a spam folder or into the inbox folder. For example, here we run some tests this last weekend, and we remove all these mailboxes from our infrastructure. Something that we look inside our agency is how many people do we need to contact to get a positive reply. In this case, we have 7 positive replies in a campaign that we launched 2 days ago, and we contacted only 154 people. So depending on the market, the location of the people, there are some standards, and this is something that we really focus on. So try to reduce this number as much as possible. And then once you get to that point, is the time to scale because you found something that is working. For scaling, it's super important to have backup infrastructure. For example, if you currently have 5 domains and 10 mailboxes on your campaigns sending cold emails on a daily basis, you need to have another 5 domains and another 10 mailboxes warming up as a backup. Something really important that I need to say here is that backup will help you a lot because your mailboxes will burn in the future and they will need eventually to be changed with your backup infrastructure. And if you are scaling with high volume, once you find that angle that it's banger, SmartLead is also building some capabilities worth keeping an eye on. Smart Infra and AI agents are designed for high volume senders who want to automate even more of this process. We won't go deep on those today, but if you are at a point where you are managing dozens of domains and sending thousands of emails a day, those are tools that will make your life a lot easier as they roll out. Now, if you want to get started with cold email today, SmartLead has a 14-day free trial where you can set up your sending accounts with smart senders, warm them up with unlimited warm-up, and launch your first campaigns all inside one platform. Just click the first link in the description to start your free trial. And with SmartLead, cold email is just the starting point. They've also got a dialer built-in and multi-channel tools that let you add cold calls and LinkedIn into the same workflow. We are going to break all of that down in an upcoming video, so make sure you are subscribed. And if you want to learn more about how to crush it with cold email today, then watch this video.